Hey guys, Sarah Ansboury here, and today I got to talk to you about something that's been driving me nuts lately. Why do we have so many pickleball injuries? Hey, you see it so commonly. I have a lot of friends that are physical therapists and doctors, and they're like, "Why is pickleball so bad for the body?" Hey, a lot of people think this sport is about older players. Okay, but why do we get injured? So let's talk about mechanics. Why mechanically we get injured? If your elbow is popping out, okay, this is one of the big things that I see players do. They're squatting and they're popping out like this, okay? I'm in pretty good shape. I'm a decent player, obviously, if you know who I am as a player, okay? That doesn't mean that my body can take that kind of impact, okay? This is a lot of strain on your body, okay? So look at what I'm doing right here. My butt's kind of down and my weight's in my knees, okay? And look at what my back is doing, okay? So one of the common messages I get from people, I've been playing pickleball 6 months and my back is killing me. I've been playing pickleball 6 months and my knees are killing me. You have all these things that are issues, okay? And this is about how we move. So I gotta say, when you're trying to learn about mechanics, don't watch us pros, okay? The things that we do are beyond what most people can do mechanically. So what we teach and what we do are maybe not necessarily the same thing all the time, okay? So we've got to think about how your body works, okay? So a lot of times we try to do things to compensate, okay? But we've got to do is what's less strain on the body, okay? So what I've got is, if I'm here and I'm shuffling side to side like this, that old school crab walk that we call, that's a lot of impact on my knees and my ankles and my hips. So this is what I see players do. They're sliding like this. So look what this is right here. So that's a torn knee and that's a torn ankle. Okay, so what we're actually looking at is trying to create forward motion. Okay, so if my paddle's kind of out in front of me forward, see how my elbows relax. And what we're doing here is engaging our shoulder. So if I'm popping my elbows like this and I'm sliding, this is the number one reason tennis elbow, I hate it. Okay, it's because of how we're holding the paddle. If your thumb is manipulating, that's also an issue. So your grip is actually a huge deal in preventing injuries, okay? Another factor there is the weight of your paddle, okay? Not everyone is designed for the same type of weight. Balance is key. So if you're playing with a paddle and you naturally feel it holding like this, then you're gonna end up pulling and popping those joints, and it's going to be too big for you. So sometimes recognize that try paddles that feel comfortable. You don't want it locking to the point where you're death gripping your paddle. So if you can feel tension in this part of your arm, anywhere up in here, you're holding the paddle too tight. And what does that do? That encourages injuries, and that is not what we want, okay? So at the same point, okay, so here's my paddle, so it's nice and loose and light, okay? I always go with the baby bird kind of idea, so that that bird can't fly away, but you're also not going to scrunch that little bird. Okay, now from here, I want my hips underneath me so that my back is straight. And here's why, because you want to turn in this direction, okay? So not only is this better for your body and your hips, but see when I turn, that now my knees and my toes turn. So I've got this little swivel, okay? So for those of you who wear proper court shoes, why do we have court shoes? Because they have this thick toe right here, and that is for dragging that toe. So what that does is transfer your weight and let it go. So if I'm so flat-footed and hard and heavy and I can't transfer my weight, that's a lot of impact on this part of your body. So what we're trying to actually be is lighter and more agile, whereas there's this crazy concept that you've got to get super low and super compressed, okay? Recognize if it hurts, okay, or if you are playing for an hour and you're exhausted and you're sweating, you are doing too much work, okay? We have a very small space. I'm only covering 10 feet side to side. So essentially, mind you, I'm very small. I am 5'5", and I've had a fusion on my lower back. So I'm just going to tell you that right now. Okay, so from here, if I turn and extend, I can basically get to my center line, turn and extend to my sideline, okay? So that is now a forward motion. So the same can be said when we're moving. We don't want to create a lot of impact on our bodies. So that's why when you do watch higher level players, it seems like we have so much time because we're moving slower. Okay? We're not racing, we're not sprinting. From the baseline to the non-volley line, we are moving 15 feet. Okay, so that's essentially 6 steps for someone my size. Okay, when you got a taller person, it's actually a lot less steps. So we don't need to be sprinting and running, because anytime we make those like hard jumps or stops, that's a lot of impact on your joints. Your joints do not like hard impact and deceleration. What they do work for is acceleration. So what we're ideally trying to do, if I'm not hitting a ball, I don't want to be moving excessively, because that's more impact on my body, and the likelihood to injure myself goes way, way up. So if you want to play pickleball to the higher level, if you want to keep improving, okay, as well as keep playing 5 years from now, 10 years from now, safety is what we have to think about. When you watch some of the players play and they're in their 20s, doesn't mean you could play that way. Doesn't mean I can play like that. I'm getting older. We're all getting a little bit older. So what we have to recognize is our body works a certain way. So if we support our body, it will support us. What I want to be doing when I'm on the court is staying as relaxed as possible, nice loose arms, nice loose everything, so that I'm not making hard compression and making my joints hate me after I'm done with 2 hours of play. The less impact, the better, so we can all play this sport a lot longer.